Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the glue that holds every intention together. Without discipline, ambition has no direction, motivation has no fuel, and potential never becomes performance. The truth is, the difference between people who move ahead in life and those who stay stuck is often as simple as their level of daily discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, and consistency is powered by discipline. You don't need to do everything right. You just need to do the right things long enough. Discipline is what keeps you in motion when the excitement fades. It's easy to start. Anyone can get excited for a week. But to stay in the game, to grind when no one is watching, to say no to distractions and yes to growth, that takes discipline. It's getting up when the alarm goes off, even when your bed is warm. It's working on your plan when your friends are out partying. It's reading that book instead of scrolling for hours. That's discipline. And discipline is the foundation of all success. Most people think they need more motivation. What they really need is more discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays when motivation leaves. You can't rely on how you feel. You have to rely on your values. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. And that's what sets the winners apart. Not their talent, not their connections. Their willingness to do the boring work, the hard work, the necessary work over and over again. Discipline shapes your habits, and your habits shape your future. Every day you skip the gym, it gets easier to skip tomorrow. Every time you blow your budget, it gets easier to do it again. But the opposite is also true. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you build a stronger you. Every time you choose what's right over what's easy, you're putting bricks in the foundation of your future. You may not see it today, but compound discipline over time builds empires. It's in the small things, making your bed, being on time, finishing what you start. Those things may seem minor, but they build a pattern of reliability. And when you can count on yourself to follow through, your confidence grows, you trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop hesitating, you stop doubting, you start taking bold steps because you know you've got what it takes to follow through. Discipline also helps you respect time. Time is your most valuable asset, and discipline teaches you how to use it wisely. People waste years because they never develop the discipline to manage minutes. 1 disciplined hour is more productive than 5 distracted ones. Discipline creates focus. It eliminates the noise. It reminds you of your goals when distractions try to pull you away. And in this noisy world, discipline is a superpower. And don't think it has to be all at once. Start small. Start by keeping your promises to yourself. Say you'll do something and then do it. That's how you build discipline. Keep showing up, even if it's messy, even if it's slow, especially when it's hard. Over time, the hard becomes habit, and that habit becomes who you are. Discipline doesn't just make you successful, it makes you proud. There's a quiet power in knowing you did the work. There's a peace that comes from effort, and even when results take time, the process itself changes you. You become stronger, sharper, more resilient. The world begins to respond to you differently because you're different, not because you got lucky, but because you got serious, because you stopped waiting and started doing, because you chose discipline again and again. If you want to go far in life, start by going deep within yourself. That's where the real treasure is. Most people spend their lives chasing things outside, new jobs, new trends, new contacts, thinking that's the key to advancement. But the truth is, the greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in the stock market or a business deal, it's in yourself. Because when you become more, you attract more. When you grow, your world grows with you. You've got to learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your job will give you a paycheck, but working on yourself will give you a fortune, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The person who develops themselves becomes irreplaceable. Your value in the marketplace rises with your skills, your wisdom, your mindset. You don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. And that value comes from what you've put into yourself over time. You can't shortcut self-investment. It's reading the books no one assigned. It's going to the seminar when your friends are at the club. It's listening to the podcast instead of complaining about your circumstances. It's choosing to grow instead of coast. When you make self-growth a daily habit, the world starts to open up in ways it never did before. Doors that used to be locked begin to swing wide open, not because they changed, but because you did. Information changes situations. And we're living in an age where the information is everywhere. It's not about access anymore. It's about commitment. Will you pick up the book? Will you study the craft? Will you ask the questions? Stay curious. Stay hungry. You don't have to be the best right now, but you do have to be getting better. When you learn more, you earn more in every area of life. The best investment isn't in things that lose value. It's in your communication skills, your mindset, your health, your habits. It's in becoming someone people want to work with, trust, and follow. You want opportunity? Make yourself so sharp, so prepared, that when it comes knocking, you're ready. You don't rise to the occasion, you rise to the level of your preparation. And that preparation comes from the time and energy you've poured into developing yourself. Too many people are waiting for someone to discover them. Don't wait. Discover yourself. Build yourself. Sharpen your own tools. Because when you invest in yourself, you become your own rescue plan. You stop depending on others to come save you. You stop blaming and start building. You take ownership, and that ownership gives you power. Even if you lose everything, if you've developed yourself, you're not starting over from scratch. You're starting over from experience. That's the power of internal wealth. They can take your title, your job, your belongings, but they can't take who you've become. That wisdom, that character, that grit, it stays with you, and it makes you unstoppable. Sometimes the return on self-investment isn't visible right away, but don't let that fool you. Growth is like planting seeds. At first, nothing seems to be happening. But deep beneath the surface, roots are forming, strength is building, and when the time is right, the breakthrough shows. So keep reading, keep studying, keep showing up to your own development, even when there's no applause. The harvest always comes, just not always on your schedule. Be careful not to compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Their success might be loud, but your growth is sacred. Respect it, protect it, and keep feeding it. The person who invests in themselves never loses. Even when they fall, they rise with lessons. Even in quiet seasons, they're gaining clarity. The progress may be slow, but it is certain, and with enough time and dedication, the person you become will be someone even your past self won't recognize. This is how you truly get ahead, not by chasing the next thing, but by building the next version of you. One decision, one action, one investment at a time. Character and integrity are the quiet forces that shape your future. You don't always see them on the surface, and people don't always talk about them, but they are working behind the scenes in every outcome, every relationship, every opportunity. In a world chasing shortcuts and applause, character is your compass. It's the anchor that holds you steady when the storm comes, and the storm always comes. The truth is, your skills may open the door, but character is what keeps you in the room. Anyone can fake it for a while. Anyone can perform under the spotlight. But when the pressure rises and no one is watching, who you really are shows up. And that's when your reputation is formed. Not in the big moments, but in the small private choices that reflect what you truly believe. Character is not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about showing up the right way even when it's hard, even when no one's clapping. Integrity is doing what's right, not what's easy, not what's popular, not what's convenient. It's keeping your word even when the feeling you made the promise in has passed. It's honoring your commitments, whether they benefit you or not. People can sense it. They may not say it, but they feel it. They know when you're real. They know when they can trust you. And trust is the currency of all great relationships, business, personal, or otherwise. Success without character is fragile. It can't hold up under pressure. The foundation will crack. You might build fast, but it won't last. Real success is sustainable. It grows slowly but surely, rooted in values that don't change with the wind. Character gives you the strength to walk away from things that aren't right for you. It gives you peace when others are restless, because you know your direction isn't based on trends or applause. It's based on who you are at the core. When you build a life of integrity, you sleep better. You lead better. You attract people who want to work with you, trust you, refer you. You create a name that opens doors without you even having to knock. And that's worth more than any temporary gain, because a good name is more powerful than a good resume. A solid reputation built on trust will carry you further than charm ever will. And yes, character gets tested. People will challenge you. Situations will tempt you. And that's where the real growth happens, not when things are easy, but when you're faced with the choice to take the low road or stay true to your values. Every time you choose integrity, you get stronger. Your roots grow deeper. And those roots will hold you when everything else shakes. It's easy to be honest when it's comfortable. But true integrity shows up when it costs you something. Time, money, approval. That's when you know who you really are. And in that moment, if you choose character, you choose legacy over convenience. You choose long-term respect over short-term reward. And that's the path of real leaders. You want to lead your life with power? Start with your example. Be the person others can count on. Be the one who does the right thing. Not just when it feels good, but because it is good. People are watching more than they're listening. Your actions speak louder than your posts, louder than your words, louder than your plans. What you do consistently defines you more than what you say occasionally. And when you live with integrity, you don't have to hide. You don't have to remember your lies. You don't have to manage a double life. You're free. You can walk tall. You can look people in the eye. And that kind of confidence can't be bought. It's earned. One honest choice at a time. So don't just focus on being successful. Focus on being someone worth following. Because one day the spotlight will fade. The numbers will stop growing. But your name, your word, your character, that will remain. And that's what really carries you forward when everything else changes. Success is not built on big leaps made once in a while, but on small, deliberate steps taken every single day. That's the secret most people overlook. They wait for the perfect plan, the right mood, the golden opportunity. But success doesn't come wrapped in perfection. It shows up when you choose to act, not once, but consistently. The people who move ahead in life aren't the ones who do everything right. They're the ones who do the right things often enough to create momentum. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be the best, but you do need to keep moving. And that's where most people give up, not because they're incapable, but because they expect results too quickly. They put in work for a week or two, and when nothing changes, they think the process is broken. But the process isn't broken, it just needs more time. Consistency works silently. It builds without applause. It shapes without noise. You don't see the change every day, but one day, the results are undeniable. Too many people are chasing intensity. They want quick wins, fast progress, overnight success. But intensity without consistency is useless. It's like going to the gym for 8 hours one day and then skipping it for 3 weeks. You won't get results that way. True progress comes from showing up even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's when you prove to yourself that you're not just interested, you're committed. Consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. When you keep promises to yourself, even the small ones, your confidence grows. You start to believe in your ability to follow through. You begin to rely on your own word. That's powerful, because when you trust yourself, you don't need external motivation to keep going. You know you're someone who shows up, someone who finishes what they start, and you don't have to be perfect to be consistent. Some days will be messy. Some efforts will fall short. That's okay. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Are you moving forward? Are you learning from your mistakes? Are you showing up again after a setback? That's the test. Not how flawless your performance is, but how resilient your effort is. Every small action compounds. 1 hour of reading a day doesn't seem like much, but over a year it's over 300 hours. One healthy meal doesn't transform your body, but 100 in a row will. Writing for 15 minutes a day won't make you an author overnight, but it might make you one in a year. The results may be invisible at first, but they're not wasted. Every rep, every word, every step counts. Discipline and consistency go hand in hand. Discipline gets you started. Consistency keeps you going. You won't always feel inspired. You won't always feel strong. But that's the point. Consistency means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It means treating your habits like non-negotiables. You brush your teeth whether you're tired or not. You can treat your goals the same way. Make the actions automatic. Turn effort into routine. When you keep showing up, you also separate yourself from the crowd. Most people quit. Most people stop when it gets hard or boring. If you can just stay in the game, keep showing up, keep learning, keep pushing, you will outlast the majority. And in many areas of life, outlasting is enough to win. You don't need to be the fastest, you just need to keep going when others stop. Consistency also brings clarity. The more you do, the more you learn. You don't wait to have the perfect strategy. You improve the strategy through action. Action reveals what works. It teaches you, refines you. Consistency is a feedback loop. It helps you grow because you're constantly engaging with the process, not just thinking about it. You have everything you need to move forward right now, not someday, not when you feel ready, right now. The question isn't whether you can do it, it's whether you will do it today, and then again tomorrow, and then the next day. That's how progress is built, not in a burst, but in a rhythm. Not by force, but by flow. One consistent choice at a time. Everything you need to get ahead in life isn't found in luck or circumstance, it's found in you. It begins with the discipline to show up, the courage to invest in yourself, the strength to live with character, and the commitment to keep moving forward consistently. When you take ownership of your growth, align your actions with your values, and stay persistent through the highs and lows, you create a life of real substance, not built on shortcuts, but on solid ground. That's the kind of life that lasts. That's how you truly get ahead.